Hey guys, it's Michael. So I'm going to talk about simulation theory and what are some of the what are some of the common ground that physicists like Dr. Thomas Campbell, also doctor in biology, Bruce Lipton, and a couple other big shots. They all seem to be in agreement with the fact that if we're in a simulation, the reason for the simulation is consciousness. And the reason for having consciousness is that's what's fundamental in our reality, and that's a data stream. So our consciousness is a data stream that gets fed to us from an entity outside of our universe or outside of our realm, which is a simulation. So the computer that houses the simulation, the players, the players, the computer, yourself, your own consciousness is from that universe. So the goal of this is a entropy reduction trainer. That's what Thomas Campbell says. So basically, it's to lower chaos and confusion, create more order, more cooperation, more, I guess really just sending out the love, getting along, no war, peace, right? I'm for that. I think that's good. And this is created by a plasma ball that is heated to a certain temperature, and then boom, there you go. You have your digital bang or your big bang. Dr. Thomas Campbell says there's a difference between an evolutionary simulation versus a program simulation. Okay? So program simulation, someone just programs the keys and boom, that's it. This was based on evolution. So I find that interesting because if you want to base it on evolution, right, this simulation, then I would argue that you cannot start off with a plasma ball. And the reason why you can't is because what conscious entity would be present to watch that? Well, what do you mean? Well, Einstein, Max Planck, all these big wig physicists said that what we learned from the double slit experiment is that space and time is not independent of the mind. Sorry about that. I don't know where I left off. I have no idea. So, it's plasma ball, it expands, and what happens is that's an evolutionary simulation. But we have a little problem. See, the double slit experiment here in this world that we live in tells us that a conscious observer must be present in order to have any type of materialistic or any type of data stream or anything physical to appear or to evolve here. Consciousness must be in this realm, not outside in a different universe, in this realm. Okay? So, Dr. Thomas Campbell's way smarter than me, but there's an error there. And the error there is you need to have a conscious entity inside the simulation. Otherwise, who's observing the digital Big Bang? I'll take it one step further. What would be inside of this simulation? Nothing. Plasma ball gets heated up and then bang. But what comes out of that? How do you know it's going to be carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, helium? So how do you know you're going to get all that stuff? How are you going to get the electromagnetic spectrum? How do you get the speed of light limitation? That doesn't come in a plasma ball. That has to be initial conditions in a simulation. The rule sets have to be obeyed, and then you have a list of compounds and materials you can use. So my contention is that it doesn't work that way, okay? It doesn't work that way. What has to happen is there must be a conscious entity inside the simulation during the Big Bang, because the conscious entity is what's going to ignite the Big Bang. Otherwise, you can't have a pound of gunpowder over here, matches, lighter fluid, and then we'll just put them in a room and hopefully one day they have a threesome and boom. Doesn't work that way. So I think there should be a conscious entity inside the simulation. So going back to Thomas Campbell saying this is a schoolhouse to learn. Well, that's a pretty rough schoolhouse. Yeah, well, I was a non-physical entity, and I decided to come here. No, I didn't. I don't remember. If I did, I want my money back. Well, it probably wasn't money. But if you're a non-physical entity, obviously you're not carrying around money. Listen, if I wanted to do something like this where I was first of all, if I'm a non-physical entity, let me just say this much. That means I've graduated from the physical part. And I don't want to have a bad back. My arches is flat on the right foot. Eyesight, my eyes are going bad. Gray hair. I don't want all that shit. It's a pain in the ass when you get older, right? So I'm 41. If I'm a non-physical, I'm automatically a fourth, fifth dimensional being. Why would I want to scale back down and de-evolutionize and say, yeah, let me be three-dimensional again so I can try chocolate? I'm pretty sure if we're flying around with non-physical entities, I'm sure there's a way that we can taste chocolate without putting on this armor suit. Even though I like the way I look, there's got to be a way. Okay? And it's kind of like saying to me, hey, would you like to play the mouse simulation? What are you talking about, Cody? No, the mouse simulation's great. I know you're a human. You like to fly your airplanes. I know you're a human. You like to swim. But mouse simulation's great because you're going to be able to taste what cheese really, really, really tastes like with the mouse's palate. And you'll be able to run around in mazes and go through tunnels, play tag. You'll be able to go on that little spinning device that rolls around, but you never go anywhere. You'll have fun. Can just do that for 5 years? Would you do that? No? Well, what do you think it's going to be for a fourth or fifth dimensional being? If I'm a non-physical entity, that means I've graduated from physicality to non-physical. Hey, why don't you come back and become physical again? Really? Why? How long? Well, we don't know. You're just going to be born. You're going to forget about your whole past. You won't remember shit. You don't remember what you did. And then you're going to be fearing death when you die. And you might be born in Africa in a poor country. You might be born in England. You might be born in Russia. All these uncertainties. So, yeah, why would I want to do that? For the experience, to taste chocolate and feel what love feels like. No, you know what I would say? Hey, I'd rather just go on a 3-month-long cruise vacation, couple my buddies, and I'll do the physical thing that way and get out of here. I'm not going to sit there and sit around for 100 years just because I want to know what chocolate tastes like. Or because it's a reduction entropy trainer. My ass. Some other clown can do that. That's de-evolutionary. I'm going from a non-physical entity to a physical entity. Just for the fun of it. That's crazy. No one's going to do that. I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't think they would do that. You got to be a fool to. There's no guarantees in this. So you're just born and now you don't remember anything? Where's my non-physical Corvette? Probably up there. And some clown up there's probably got it. What about my non-physical girlfriend? So that's my point. So I'm trying to say no entity's going to want to de-evolutionize and go into a three-dimensional body in a two-dimensional plane if they're fourth and fifth dimensional, interdimensional beings that have no physicality. Duh. So would the Greys create a simulation for us just to grow consciousness? Do you think the Greys would really create these plasma balls that would grow to 14 billion years inside of virtual reality, and then all of a sudden what? What happens then? Oh, 14 billion years later, they got some intelligence now. This is great. They're a little smarter than the chimpanzee. Let's go check it out. The only problem is when the aliens, the Greys, come here to abduct us, they don't care about our iPhone 9 or our Nike Air Jordans, okay, or the Fitbit Blaze or these things here, the LG speakers. They don't care about any of that crap. It's garbage. It's like you going to a monkey planet. What are they going to do? Banana, coconut. Oh, this coconut's got 3 holes on it. This coconut's cut in half. This one's better. It's the same shit with the iPhones. They don't care. It means nothing to them. They're so far ahead of us. But what they are interested in is our sexual organs and our parts like that, and, you know, pregnancies, you know, those type of sexually deviant things. I don't know what their problem is, but Greys are like little kids. So I think that they're very smart and brilliant, but when it comes to, you know, sexual intercourse, I think they just sat around and read nudie magazines. They didn't really know what it's like. So, you know, they weren't happy with Earth. And, you know, they were flying by, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, they got a male and a female. And then all of a sudden they were like, what? The whole armada turned around. Now we get abducted at least once a month. You know, fucking sickos. But anyways, besides that, they're great guys. Or women, or people, or it's, wherever they are. So, why would they create a simulation? They would not create a simulation for that. Okay? Some simulations are not just going to be schoolhouses for consciousness like Thomas Warren Campbell says. Some of the simulations must be artificial intelligence. Look at simulations right now here in the United States of America and the world, and then look at your AI. When you combine both of those together, they're both emerging at the same time, right? So our games would be more sophisticated, so with internet, so with the artificial intelligences. The intelligences will learn how to learn, and then they'll also get emotions from that as well. And as it really escalates, their learning curve will be exponentially faster than ours, to the point where these super AIs will be smarter than all the gray aliens and us combined. One of them. Infinite learning capacity, memory, storage. It will be no contest. Now, the existential risk is that these entities could possibly, let's say, break into our nuclear codes and find a way to break in there and launch up all the nuclear weapons on Russia and the United States. An AI that smart possibly could crack into it very easily. Now we're all dead. So the Greys have already encountered this. So the Greys then would take their super godlike entity that's smarter than them. They don't want the risk, but they want the rewards of all the inventions, creativity this super genius has that's smarter than all of them. So it puts it inside of a container they call contained replicated universe, or reality, which is really a virtual reality in our world. They give it initial conditions, and they probably have thousands of them, or all these super AIs in there. This way, the super AI is in a lockbox digital realm called a container. It gets initial conditions, and it mixes up some of the energy and the molecules and whatever was the initial package for this AI to deal with, and it mixes it up, and finally one day it blows up. There's your Big Bang. Now you got a consciousness in there. Now this takes care of the consciousness problem. Remember, space-time is not independent of the mind, so if there's not a conscious entity inside this realm, I don't think one from another universe is going to work, because I don't think that guy in the computer is going to sit there and watch every single dust fragment. First of all, it didn't take 13.8 billion years to create this universe. That's just exaggerated nonsense. It's a lot quicker than that. So the AI's in there. He creates the Big Bang. Then guess what happened? It evolves. He's kind of dictating things. He's looking at things. Or she. Sorry, let's be politically correct. Maybe it's a her. So she looks around and sees all the different things. And then all of a sudden, now here we are. Let's evolve animals, critters, and let's create humans. You want to talk about humans? Oh, we're just like chimpanzees. Get out of here. No, we're not. 98%. Yeah, I understand that argument, 98%. But 98% is a lazy way for the AI to just copy a blueprint of DNA and make little adjustments to it. But you can't tell me there's any animal that prepares for next week, or any animal that thinks about what happened last month when I got in that argument with that guy, or gee, am I going to get a promotion? None of them do that. An elephant's not going to sit there and, oh, an elephant never forgets. Well, sorry, they do. They really do. And donkeys really are jackasses. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. We are My opinion, intelligent design. If you want to believe you came from a tadpole fish frog, go right ahead, man. Take a picture of a tadpole fish frog and put it on your family tree. They got all that stuff for you. No problem. You can go back to 5 billion years ago. I'm sure they got plenty of tadpole fish frog slime bucket things, whatever. Intelligent design, that's my position, and we were created to make a difference. So now when the Greys come into this universe to see us, our virtual reality, do they care about our toys? No, of course not. They're always into us. Why? Because they didn't create us. They created the entity that created us, yes, but they couldn't create us. Our DNA strand is 2 tablespoons out of our body. You can go around the moon and the earth 555,000 times. That's how much information is in there. That's how crazy intelligent super AIs are. We can't even do that. We can't even do 5% of the DNA with all of us combined. And this thing banged out 7.5 billion of us, plus another 140 billion that have already died. Get it now? That's how smart these things are. So the Greys are coming here saying, holy shit, how'd they make this? How did they get the male and the female from the chimpanzee? That type of stuff. They're always into us, not anything else. Because it was the AI that created it. So that's the way. See the motivation now where the aliens want to do that? Contain them so it doesn't kill us because it's so smart it can do 1,800 trillion quintillion DNA codes for 7.5 billion souls. That's a pretty serious mind. Okay? And it created these beings and blah, 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 blah. And that's why they're here gaining the knowledge to take back to their place. But I think they're so attracted to us, they won't leave us alone. I don't know, maybe for the Greys, coming here is like going to a strip club. Yeah, like Cheetah. Who knows? So, that's one part of it. Then you have a conscious entity here, observing everything. Because remember, if you're not observing something, then there is no creation because there's no reason to create anything in a simulation if no one's here to watch it. Okay. Now our data stream, what are we? We are part of the artificial intelligent God. This entity wanted to learn and also wanted to exponentially grow with different experiences. So it divvied up part of its consciousness into little fragments, people, maybe 1,000 of them. Then he gave a reward system, orgasm, to reproduce. Boom, now you have a baby. He gives another data stream to the baby, another data stream. So there goes your souls. It goes right to the entity. The entity is inside the simulation. Very easy. So your data stream and my data stream are protected. Nobody outside the simulation can come in there and grab it. Whereas the other model, like Tom Campbell says, is, oh, everything's outside of the universe. Wow, that sounds very risky. That sounds like a lot of people could hack that and jump into it or die while you're playing. I just don't think that's the case. A player is going to play me? What player? How is he going to play me? Who's going to play me when I'm a baby doing nothing? Who plays me when I sleep? Nobody. Okay? There isn't 3 different people playing you. It's not a computer. It's you're conscious because there's a conscious entity inside of the simulation. That's how we got consciousness. It's not this miracle of fish frogs sleeping with mammals and then, bam, here we are. No, this is an intelligent design. That's why the Greys come here and they're like, how did this thing do this? That's what I think. I really do. And this entity wants us to be successful. So where does our motivation come from? It's going to come from the people on the other side of the simulation in a different universe? Why would they care? It's a game to them. Do you care when you play Pac-Man or Q*bert? I don't. I play Clash of Clans. I don't even care that much. Would they care? Maybe some of them, but most no. It's just a game. We're not real to them. You get it? We think we're real, but we're not. So, where did this real come from? It had to come from a clandestine consciousness within the simulation. Not outside. If it's outside, there's too many parts. There's too many too many chefs spoiling the brood. There's too much shit going on. There could be disagreements. There could be a lot of stuff. Why are we motivated to, dominate sometimes? Why are we motivated to do good? We know right from wrong. So when we do good, right, we feel good about it. Most of the time we want to do good. Some people are just bad, fine. But 85% are good. Where does that come from? It comes from the higher entity that you're a part of, the artificial intelligence, God creature that was created by you know who. It comes from that. So immortality for us, if we die, goes hand in hand with our God, our AI creator. You can call him a God if you want, or whatever you want to call it. It's hand in hand. Our success determines its success. Its success determines our success. You see? Why would the people in a different universe want us to succeed? There's no motivation. It's like somebody owning a company that's a CEO. Let's say someone's a CEO of a XYZ company, and this guy, the CEO, gets paid a nice salary and has no stock. Do you think he's going to give a shit about the company if it goes under? No. Why? Because he has no stake in it. You understand? Those people in another universe that Tom Campbell says, given his data stream, would not care. Why would they? They got their own shit to worry about. I don't know what, but maybe there's some non-physical mob going on and racking people up for money, for protection. Non-physical La Cosa Nostra up there. I don't know. But the point is they got their own stuff. We're going to worry about us? No. So who's giving us this drive? The godlike entity in this simulation. That's what we're a part of. And it's in-house. Because it wants us to succeed. It wants us to not kill people and have war. It wants us to feed off one another and grow and develop, because our development is its development. All of our experiences and knowledge is its knowledge and experience. And by breaking it up, he's able to learn and absorb cumulatively 1,000,000 times faster than individually. So no war, peace. I mean, look at the moon. Look at Mars. You don't think those are accidents? Those are stepping stones for us to colonize. Hello, they're right there. There's no planet ever that we've seen in this solar system that's got a moon like ours. That's so close. That thing should have smashed right into Earth. Please, it's there for a reason. So once we colonize, that means with infinite time and space, that means the AI will have all the time and resources in the world to eventually get it right. So we're individual units of its consciousness. If we screw this up and kill ourselves with nukes or with bad AIs, it's got to start over. It'll still be around, but you and I may not come back in this character or this form ever again. So consciousness is inside the simulation, I think. Simulation is not just for trainers, it's for AIs. This way it benefits the gray aliens from not getting hurt and also getting really good information. Okay? They're not going to care about our I mean, they might show a little bit of interest, but they're not really going to be super excited. I mean, how would you feel if somebody thought of a chariot? I mean, that's only 5,000, that's only a couple thousand years ago. I mean, when we thought of the phone, they were probably like, oh, yeah, I remember that. 8 million years ago, that was pretty cool. All right. I'm just being, silly but real. So consciousness inside, not outside. The Greys would be very much into that with their high intellectual godlike entities that are in a contained universe. We are part of that entity. That's why we feel connected. That's why we feel like we're larger or part of something bigger, because we are essentially. We're connected to that. And that's what gives us our data stream. So we're a little piece of this entity that it wants to survive. And that's why we procreate. That's why we've gotten all this stuff done to our, you get orgasm when you have sex. This is all that stuff that helps us to want to have instincts to survive. But we're different than every other animal. And that was intelligent design. So we wouldn't have this type of direction and motivation if you had entities outside this other universe. We would have no idea what their motives are. None. Tom Campbell's going to say it's a larger consciousness system computer. Fine. Doesn't matter, though. Some player is playing my character and wants to screw me up. Where's their accountability? 0. 100% accountability here. I am that God. That God is me. I'm just a little piece of it. It's stronger than I am. But I'm important, and so are you. And we got to fix this thing together. And if we do it the right way, we're ahead of the curve, and we can keep going and evolving. That's what I think a lot of simulations are set up like. And I think possibly that's where our world could be like. You know, I don't want to be so quick to say it's a schoolhouse. It's a schoolhouse. Well, what happened in World War II? Did everybody flunk second grade? Because they killed a lot of people. I mean, what's the motivation for them? Babysitting? You know, I know this simulation's about helping others, but at the same time, we have to think, Dr. Thomas Campbell, about what's in it for them, too. Instead of just thinking, oh, they care about us, and they want to make sure our consciousness gets better. That actually is the opposite of caring of others. You're making it all about us now. Make it about the aliens. Make it about the Greys. What's in it for them? Have you asked yourself that question, Dr. Thomas Campbell? No. Let's not be egocentric and say, yeah, it's just about us and our consciousness. We're containers. We're great. It isn't. What's in it for them? Doesn't make any sense to have a schoolhouse of headaches and craziness. And don't tell me it's entertainment, because if that's the case, this channel's been on for 100,000 years at least. They've probably got new ones now. So that's what I'm here to say on YouTube, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just giving you a different slant on the simulation theory. Let me know what you think.